Alright, so I'm a little late to the party. Just about every boxing channel on YouTube has already broken down this fight, so much so that I'm not sure anything I noticed about this is anything that hasn't already been said. But I promised a video on this fight to my Patreon members, so here it is. So one of the common narratives I hear about this fight is that Anthony Joshua held his lead hand too low, which is why he was caught with the right hand that dropped him in the first round. The thing is, there actually isn't anything inherently wrong with holding the lead hand low, especially in same stance matchups. The important thing is that you cover the opening with other means of defense, and also that you know when to pick the hand up. So holding his lead hand low was only half of the story as to where he went wrong. Fighters like Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, Tyson Fury, Guillermo Rigondeaux all typically fight with their lead hand low and are highly skilled in defense. Anthony Joshua also typically fights with his lead hand low in many of his fights. The reason Joshua has been successful despite this is because his preferred defense is a proactive long guard. He extends his lead hand to pick at his opponent's lead hand to essentially prevent them from using it, instead of a reactionary defense where he waits for the jab to come and parrying it. Joshua has a proactive defense where he stops the jab before it happens. Now back to the fight against Daniel Dubois. Yes, it is technically against conventional wisdom to guard the left hand of your opponent with your own left hand because it leaves you open for your opponent's right hand. This is exactly the opening Dubois capitalized on. However, Joshua usually has this opening covered by flaring his elbow out to block the right hand as he picks off the jab. As you could see against Klitschko, he proactively picks off the jab with his hand and blocks the right hand with his elbow all in one move. So Joshua's tactic of using the wrong hand to defend against the orthodox jab is by design, since he has a built-in defense for the right hand. It's a 2-in-1 defense that has worked pretty well for him thus far. Because of this, I wouldn't say the knockdown Dubois scored on him was due to him holding his lead hand too low. I would say it's because Joshua failed to utilize his long guard as designed after reaching out to pick Dubois' left hand. Yes, he dropped his hand, but more so he brought his hand back to home instead of keeping it extended with his elbow flared out to block the right hand. This was a costly mistake for Joshua to retract his long guard in punching range, but more importantly, beautiful execution from Dubois, feinting the jab to draw out Joshua's long guard, then nailing him with a right hand over the opening. We even see a similar situation earlier in the round. Dubois comes in and sneaks a left hook around Joshua's long guard as Joshua was anticipating a jab. But here we see Joshua actually utilizes his elbow block to defend against a potential right hand follow-up from Dubois. However, Joshua retracts his long guard even though he is still in punching range where he could still be hit. Dubois notices this and nails him with a right hand. It's bad enough that Joshua retracted his guard in the danger zone, but he also didn't use his guard to even cover his exit as he's shown in the past. Like here against Andy Ruiz, Joshua fires a 1-2 and covers his exit with the long guard, controlling Ruiz's right hand so he can't cut him off as he's circling out to safety. Now I do have to agree with everyone else who are saying Joshua held his hands too low, but mainly because he was caught over and over again by these sharp, crisp jabs from Dubois. Without his hands, or at least his right hand, at his chin, there's no way he was going to react in time to parry Dubois' sharp jabs. Dubois would smartly place these jabs when Joshua was not reaching out with his long guard. He would wait for Joshua to take a mental break, since the long guard is taxing on your shoulder to use continuously. And of course, everyone is also talking about how Joshua was knocked out because he came in throwing a right uppercut with his left hand low, which leaves the opening for the knockout shot. The low lead hand isn't necessarily the entire reason this happened, as the outcome of this exchange would likely have been the same if his left hand was up. Joshua's uppercut was terribly telegraphed as he's stepping in on Dubois, who is looking to counter after seeing several telegraphed right hands from Joshua just seconds prior. Even if Joshua's left hand was up, Dubois would likely punch around it, over it, or inside it. It's not to say the low left hand wasn't the big issue that led to the knockout, but it's only half of the story. And that's going to do it for this one. Once again, this was a DAZN fight, so I only used screenshots of the fight, and I'll be uploading the version with the fight footage on my Patreon, so if you would like to see that, you could join for as little as $1. It helps to support the channel and keep the channel going, since DAZN is trying to copyright strike all of my videos on their fights. And as always, special thank you to my GOAT tier patrons, Jason Maheenan, Grant Gabriel, Albert Chen, Gostal Ageza, Marshall Bott, Jesus Galindo, Nyan Valdez, MSM Neal, RC, Daniel Contreras, Lionel Johnson, Val Ravenheim, Jacob McMillan, JJJR, Sua, and Maxwell Hodge, as well as my channel member, Lucas Miller. You guys all keep the channel going, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you all for watching.